One of the key aspects of law of assumption or law of attraction is mindset. And today we're going to talk about the importance of shifting your mindset and how it's actually been proven scientifically and spiritually to change your physical reality. And I do have a challenge for us to do at the end of this video, so make sure that you stick around to find out what it is. One of the key aspects to any learning of the law of assumption, law of attraction is your mindset. And essentially a mindset, the definition online is a person's belief about themselves, which influence their behaviors, outlook, and attitude. It's a way of seeing the world, and it can affect how a person interprets and responds to situations. Now, if you are a follower of Neville Goddard, even I believe Joseph Murphy has said the same, that your reactions to an event, to anything, circumstance that happens to you, is truly the insight to what state you're in, and that's what's going to continue in your world, the reactions that you give. So while you don't have control over your initial feeling, and you don't have control over everything that happens to you in the world, you definitely have control over your reactions to it. And that's something that you can learn. And the more that you learn that, the better off that you're going to be in creating a life that you want, feeling really good, feeling fulfilled, not getting so overwhelmed, and even really starting to be able to manage feelings of anxiety or like truly great overwhelm. That's what I've kind of found myself. I've not personally ever struggled much with anxiety, but I have struggled quite a bit with like feeling very overwhelmed. And just needing to take a moment to decide how I'm going to react to a certain event or a circumstance that's happening in my life. And that is truly a huge part of the law of assumption, but it's not just in law of assumption. Now, keep in mind that your mindset is going to be built through like your life filter. So it's the things that you've experienced in childhood, the trauma that you've had in your own life, whether that's little t or big T trauma, right? Regardless of which one, it's all going to drive your mindset, and also the habits that you maintain. So your habits can be either a mental habit or a physical habit or an emotional habit. So you may have a physical habit of waking up in the morning and scrolling your phone. Or you may have a mental habit of getting in the car each day to drive to work and starting a mental argument with your boss over how poorly you did on a presentation, or that you haven't hit your quota, or whatever it is. Those are both habit loops. And I talk about this a lot on this channel, but a habit loop starts with a cue. Then you're going to go into your routine, and then you're going to hit a reward. And that reward may not be one that you fully recognize, but it could be happening, right? Like those hits of dopamine, or like it's smokers where they're like, I don't want to keep smoking, but I keep doing it. It's because you get the reward of the chemical relaxation that gets released when you have that cigarette. So when you have a cue that's like, let's say, getting into your car, and you fall into the routine of arguing with your boss as you drive to work, your reward could be something of like either a dopamine hit, or it could be something even more simple of just the reward of feeling comfort, right? When you have a routine like this, you could have comfort within this. And that all is going to be building up and creating your mindset. And the mindset is not just, or the importance of mindset is not only within the woo-woo kind of spirituality, law of assumption, law of attraction community. This has actually been scientifically proven through numerous studies, the importance and how your mindset can actually shift your physical reality. And these mindsets that you're keeping can actually shift your behaviors, and they are going to shift your behaviors. So an example would be, let's say you're somebody who wakes up and in the mirror every morning, you're really putting yourself down. You're just like, man, I look like crap every day. I don't like the way I look in my clothes. I feel like crap. I'm not very intelligent. I am not very creative. I'm really struggling at work. I don't even think my boss likes me. And that could actually create the habit and the behavior, the actions that align to the state or the identity that you're in, could make it so you don't talk up in meetings because you're worried you're going to embarrass yourself. You walk with making yourself much more closed in and quiet. You're not as smiley or as outgoing in social situations as you may have been if you felt a little bit more confident in yourself and spoke to yourself a little bit better. And there have been studies, like I mentioned before, that have shown that your mindset can actually shift the physical reality, not just the way that you look at things or the way that you believe, but truly have an actual impact on the physical reality around you. There was a doctor, let's see if I can say this right and not mess it up, but there was a doctor, Fabrizio Benedetti, I think is how you say it, revealed that patients who were aware of receiving a morphine treatment after surgery actually reported a better, more pain. No, how do you say that? Reported less pain, like so the medication was working for them, than ones who received the identical treatment through an IV. So I want to explain this a little bit more. He took some patients that had a pretty intensive surgery done. And on half of the patients, he had a doctor come in and actually give them the morphine. So they physically saw it happening. They got the medication and then they reported their pain levels. Now, the other group of people did not see the doctor. They were only getting it through an IV. So they didn't know when it was being administered, but it was at the exact same time in the exact same dose as the patients who had the doctor. But the one who actually physically saw the doctor and believed that they were receiving benefit from that medication reported less pain, so better pain management from that medication than the ones who didn't see it. I talk a lot on this channel, or I've mentioned it a lot, the lucky versus unlucky study. They took people who are self-proclaimed as lucky and ones that are self-proclaimed as unlucky. They gave these people the exact same newspaper and said, how many pictures are in here? The ones that self-proclaimed as lucky actually identified it within seconds, right? And the ones who self-proclaimed as unlucky, it took them quite a bit longer. Well, the reason was the answer was on page 2. The lucky people saw the answer. The unlucky people didn't even perceive it. Their perception of the opportunities that they're provided in life didn't even allow them to see that opportunity in front of them. But there was a doctor, where did her name go? Dr. Alia Crum, who looked at a large group of women who worked as housekeepers. And they reported that these women were actually doing quite a bit of physical exertion every day through their work. And that truly, that would be considered exercise. But when they sat these women down, and these were from different hotels across the United States, so it's not like these are women that got together and kind of talked about how they were going to, discuss this, or they maybe, lived in a certain area that they had something in common this way. But when they talked to these women, 2/3 of them said they hardly ever exercise. They did not view their work as exercise. So they took half of those women who didn't report as exercise and informed them and showed them that actually what they were doing was daily exercise, that they could consider what was going on with them as exercise each and every day. The rest they didn't tell, right? So they took about half and said, yeah, this work that you're doing, it's exercise. Like you're getting exercise every single day. Guess what? The women who were told that their work was exercise reported weight loss. Well, not didn't report, but had weight loss. They had better blood pressure, and they showed, what was the other one? Let me find it here real quick. So weight loss, reduced blood pressure, and better job satisfaction without altering anything else. So all they had to do was have this mindset shift of a doctor telling them what you're doing is exercise. It counts for them to show significant changes in the way that this exercise then was performing for them. And the ones that were not given that information did not report any change. They still saw it as non-exercise, and their body actually reacted as non-exercise. So then a Yale study actually took participants and gave them each the exact same milkshake, right? I want to be a part of this study where I get a milkshake. But they told half of them it was a sensible milkshake. It was like, 320 calories or something. Don't quote me on that one. But they told them it was a sensible milkshake and that it was good for them. So they get this milkshake. They gave the other ones a milkshake and told them it was indulgent. They were getting a really special treat and it had like 640 calories. They both got the same dang milkshake. Their bodies physically reacted differently when they thought the milkshake was sensible. So their bodies actually released, their psychological response to identical milkshakes varied based on their perception of the shake. So it actually influenced not only their metabolism, but also their hunger hormone, which I just found remarkable. So here's where we can see that your body actually physically reacts based on your own mindset. This is why it's so important to really focus on your mindset. And it's not just woo, it's not just about the law of assumption, law of attraction. It's actually taking your mindset and shifting it into something that is beneficial to you instead of working against you. And there's such immense what is the word I'm looking for? There is such immense benefit to you doing this for yourself. You will actually find that your body reacts, your mind reacts, and your world reacts, because as soon as you start changing this mindset, your world actually changes. This is exactly what Neville Goddard was talking about. Change your mindset, change your life, right? Change your habits, change your life. That's Dr. Joe Dispenza. They're all teaching the same thing, that the more that you learn how to focus the way that you want to, you give your attention, your energy, your vibration, whatever you want to call it, into the things that contribute to you being the person you want to be, and less in opposition as the person that you want to be, the more those are going to come together, and your mindset is actually going to drive your physical reality, right? That's how this actually works. And it's not just woo-woo. It's not just some spirituality. It's not magic. It is truly shifting the beliefs that you have. It's shifting the way that your mind sees the world. It's shifting your behaviors by shifting your state. So I recently also did a short calling for a 24-hour challenge. And today I'm going to expand on that a little bit. So I want you to join me and give me 7 days for you to do this challenge. Okay. And this is how we're going to close the video, is with this 7-day challenge. So I first want you to spend the next 24 hours paying attention to where your mindset is in a specific area. So for an example, you find yourself struggling at work and you're just kind of not having a very good time. You don't really like your job. You want a promotion. You want to make more money, whatever. I want you to pay attention to the way that you talk about yourself, to yourself, the inner conversations or arguments that you have, anything that you can kind of connect, right, to the to paying attention to your mindset in this specific area. So if you want to do better at work, I want you to pay attention to, what am I doing? What are the habits that I'm keeping? What are the mindsets that I have around my current work life? Then I want you to, and that's it, right? You're just going to take note. I just want you to pay attention to it for the next 24 hours. So from there, I want you to decide what you would actually want to align with, how you would prefer your career to go, or how you would want to feel at work. And remember, you can do this with anything. If it's that you want love in your life, or you want more friendships, or you want to feel more confident, whatever it is, I'm just using work as an example. But I want you to decide on how it would feel if you were aligned with that. Just ask yourself, what would this solution feel like? If I had the promotion, if I had the love, if I had the confidence, what do I think that would feel like? And don't overthink it, right? It's just think about it. So I have a free journal if you need some help with this, if you want to align to your desires. I'll leave a link down to that below. But essentially, it's a journal that walks you through, here's kind of what I want, here's what it would feel like, and here's how I align to it. So it'll help you through this process. So that link's down below. Now, you know what it is you want, and you're aware of the thoughts that are in opposition, that you are continuing, the habits that you have that are continuing these kind of feelings and thoughts. And I want you to think about, what are some small mindset shifts that I can do? That's how you're going to spend the rest of the next 7 days. Every day, repeatedly think, how can I now align better to the person that I want to be instead of being in opposition? What are very small changes that I can do? How can you replace your self-limiting beliefs, thoughts, inner conversations? So let's say, for an example, you are, you want to do better at work. You feel like you're just always kind of on the crappy end of the stick of things and it's not going well and you really want a promotion. And so you spend that first 24 hours paying attention to your feelings, and you're like, man, I drive into work every day mentally arguing with my boss. I go to bed at night thinking how much I dread the next day because I have a presentation and I know I'm going to do crappy on it because I'm not even good at doing presentations, and I'm not very creative, and I never know what to put in the PowerPoint, or I haven't hit my sales quota in 3 months and I don't know what to do, and I'm in a panic and I don't make enough money. Okay, so we know those are the feelings now. Those are some self-limiting beliefs and inner conversations that you're having. So now you're going to say, okay, I actually want to feel successful. I want to feel confident. I want to feel important. I want to feel like I'm, just got a promotion. Can you instead spend that time driving to work, imagining a really great conversation with your boss? Can you imagine your VP coming up and being like, man, your idea was fantastic. I've never seen anything so creative. Can you imagine yourself calling your mom and being like, Mom, I just got that promotion I've been trying to go for. I'm so freaking excited. Everything's going so well for me. And hear her repeat back to you like, that's so awesome. You got the promotion. I'm so excited for you. Whatever it is. And you can even do this on a much smaller scale. Can you just imagine a coworker patting you on the back and saying, great presentation. Man, that was a good PowerPoint. Or getting an award at work, whatever it is, you have to find what works for you and what makes sense to you, okay? And then to that, I also want you to add each night, spend 5 minutes going on a literal treasure hunt. So I want you to look back on your day. In what ways were you amazing and creative? What ways can you pat yourself on the back like, yes, I am awesome. I did this and it's awesome and I feel so freaking good. What are ways that maybe you did get a compliment at work where somebody said, like even as small as saying like your outfit looks great, or you did really good on a certain presentation, or you got an amazing sale, or your campaign really, did really well. It's even performing better than you expected. 5 minutes for you to just write it out. Okay. And that's what I want you to do. So this is the 7-day challenge. You really have to start paying attention. This is essentially a little bit different of a mental diet, right? I'm just putting mental diet in a different kind of way. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you're going to do the challenge, I really would love to hear about it. So if you could also let me know that you're going to do it down below, I would appreciate it. And I wish you nothing but the best.